with us Joanne and Jerry Freeman, and they are going to talk about their memories and insights of Cat Street. So I welcome you both up to the bema.
I'm Joanne Freeman. Jerry. We've been married for 61 years and couple members for 37 years, since 1975. In May of 1975, our lives were in shambles as our home and the school where I were destroyed as that horrible tornado roared through Omaha. Temple also suffered serious damage, and yet they reached out to us, offering us help and consolation. At that time, our three children, Bob, John, and Helen, had completed their religious school studies, and they were in college, and our family dynamics were changing. We felt that it was time for us to have a more contemporary religious service, and so we became members of the Temple family. I continued working for several years. I occasionally volunteered for sisterhood activities, and when our children married, they joined Temple. We were most proud to see our 5 grandchildren attend religious school, have their bar and bat mitzvahs at Temple, and continue their studies through high school. Our oldest grandson was married in the Temple Sanctuary 2 weeks ago. And only this year have I rediscovered the joy of learning through the Thursday morning classes. And for that, I thank you, Rabbi, and teacher.
She's more serious than I am. My chance to get even with Rabbi Azriel. Now the rest of the story. From the musical Chicago, there was Mr. Cellophane. That's me. I like to sit in the back. I don't want to be up here, but I'm here. The biggest thing when I first came around this temple, in the later years anyway, I was known, people would walk up to me and they'd say, "I'm Jerry Freeman." "Oh, are you Bob Freeman's father?" My claim to fame. My first memory of temple was when I was much younger, driving in my car by this big, massive temple-looking place on Park Avenue in St. Mary's. I was just a spectator, where my family belonged to Bethel. And at that time, Bethel didn't even have a home ballpark. They had services on the high holidays were held either at the old GCC at 20th and Dodge or at the Central Club, which was across the street on Dodge Street. Of course, later Bethel went on to build at 49th and Farnham, and then right now at 144th and Dodge. Now, more story behind the story. Why would 2 happy people like Joanne and I want to move from Bethel to Temple? Well, a big wind called a tornado. It was a big disaster. Time, as Joanne mentioned, was 1975, May. Not only did our house at 69th and Burke go away, but our whole lives changed. We decided to rebuild our lives and consider a change in our house of worship. We debated long, and we debated strong for months. And we came up with a list of 20 reasons why we should join Temple Israel. These are some of the reasons, not necessarily in order. One, as Joanne mentioned, our children have been bar mitzvah and we're done with religious school. Joanne's sister Enid had married into the Pollock family, who were longtime Temple Israel members. Joanne's parents, the Levies, had decided to join Temple Israel, moving over also from Bethel. We had heard that Temple had a more liberal policy on intermarriage. our situation. In later years, it came to pass that that was important. We had heard good things about Temple Israel and its clergy. And at the same time, if some of you can remember, there were big changes brewing at the clergy at Bethel Synagogue. Reason number 8, location. Reason number 9, location. Reason number 10, location, etc., including reason number 20. So we joined Temple Israel and lived happily ever after. The problem was, when we got here and we sat down in the sanctuary, we looked around and there was everybody we knew from Bethel. And there's one in the room, like Jack. And who else? Marcia. By the way, I'm glad a lot of you people are here because we didn't think there'd be enough for the meeting and we brought some of our family. Getting back to Mr. Cellophane, we used to ride our bikes and still do on Sunday morning, and I'd have my bike and our grandchildren, namely Lauren back there and Allie and Susan, would go to religious school, and I'd decide, well, I'll pick them up and take them home. And in those days, I did not have a separate thing for kids. I just would stick them on the bar on a men's bike. The teacher would run up and say, hey, you can't do that. Who are you? Kidnap me. Now, one of the things we've done since we've been members here is to go to the Thanksgiving Day service. This service is held the Sunday before Thanksgiving every year. It is held in conjunction with other congregations in the neighborhood. We've done that, our family's done that. If you come out of this meeting tonight, or this service tonight with nothing more, try to do it, because for us, it's been a wonderful experience. And we were always proud of our rabbi and our canon. You say, hey, you belong to St. Margaret Mary's or whatever. But we got the people at Temple Israel that are really great. One of the reasons we joined here was they had a better magazine. And I'm quoting from the last issue, which came about a week ago. It says, Tri-Faith Campus going up in Omaha. Well, this is a big deal. And I just hope everybody appreciates it like we do. I'm going to go back about 10 years ago. And we used to go to Florida in the wintertime, a place called Hallandale Beach, which is about 85% Jewish. And our son Bob at that time was visiting us. We went out to eat at a place called Katrina, it was on Hallandale Beach Boulevard. Bob said, you know, I've got a dream. I want to sound it out to you. And Bob laid out his dream of a tri-faith campus that would involve Temple Israel as the lead congregation. And I won't say any more other than that. That is another chapter to be followed, and hopefully one of the speakers this summer will go into more detail on that. Now for my Friday night sermon. Rabbi Osriel Everett is out of town, so we're having here. Recent times at Temple Israel. Life is good. Life is bad. Times are good. Times are bad. A few weeks back, we attended the funeral of David Rubeck. Among other activities, David Rubeck was the coach of the wheelchair basketball team. And in the congregation that evening were many members of that team, maybe 20 or 25. That was the saddest funeral I had ever seen in my life. Then within a few days, we had the wedding, as Joanne mentioned, of our grandson Adam, and Allie Lepp, who was also a member of this congregation. So that was happy times. Right now, one of them sitting in the back of the room, there are actually 2 Allie Freemans, both belong to this congregation. Tonight is the wake, going into bad times, of Tom Burke, who's a member of our family. Also is, I think, is the York side of my brother Harry. So life has its ups and downs, but Temple Israel is here to support us in our sorrow and our joy share.
Thank you very much. I don't really watch baseball, but I'll continue the analogy. I think in the dugout is Mel Epstein, waiting to warm up. Mel is
I think it's on deck.
on deck. It's the Navy. Before we turn to page 282 for a label, I also want to wish in advance, raise your hand if you're a father. Raise your hand if you're a father. Happy Father's Day on Sunday to all your fathers in the congregation and grandfathers. Please rise for a label.